Hello, beautiful people. It's Michael here. Welcome to my very first Business for Unicorns blog video. I think all the kids call it a vlog, so welcome to my first vlog. Yay! I'm super excited about the topic today because today I'm going to give you 5 steps for delegating with confidence. We've been talking a lot about delegating in our Time Ninja course, and I thought I'd bring this conversation to the masses so we can all talk about this important topic. And one of the reasons I think it's important and tricky is that delegating, we use the word delegating when we're talking about asking for help at work, but outside of work, it's just called asking for help. And for many of us, asking for help is a trigger. It's a trigger because it's associated with our own self-worth, our own sense of self-worth, our self-esteem, and oftentimes we think of asking for help like a failure. We failed, we can't do it ourselves, so we need help. And as we all know, that's rarely the case. So I want to make sure that whether you're asking for help in your personal life or you're asking for help at work or delegating, you have some clear action steps so that when you do ask for help, when you do delegate, you can do it confidently. So let's dive in. Step number 1 is to get clear about the task or project you're delegating. And so before you even think about who's going to do it or any of the details about the task that needs to get done, just get clear about what exactly do you need help with. And so, for example, if you're at work and you're working on a larger project, you might not be delegating that larger project. You might just be delegating a small piece of it. So before you even think about asking for help or who's going to do it, think about what is that piece of it specifically I'm going to hand off to someone else. So number 1 is get clear about the task or project first. Step 2 is you got to pick the right person. Right? You got to pick the right person. So before you even approach anyone, you want to think about what skills are needed to complete this task well, and who around me might have the bandwidth or capacity to help. You might also want to think about who around me owes me a favor. You might want to think who around me do I love working with the most, right? So depending on the task or project, you want to think specifically about who you're going to ask to help, who you're going to ask to delegate it. And so for some of you, you might not have that many options. For some of you, you work with an assistant, and that assistant is the person you delegate all of the tasks to that you need help with. But for some of you, you have options. You have choices. You can hire people online. You can ask people in a vast network of peers and coworkers. So if you have options, step 2 is think thoughtfully about who you pick for each specific task or project you're delegating. Step 3, I'm going to steal this from Simon Sinek, but step 3 is you want to start with why. So when you go to approach that person to ask them for help or to delegate, you want to start with a really powerful explanation about why. And there's 2 things you want to say why about. You want to say, why is this project important? Why is this task or project important? And 2, why them? Why are you coming to them with this project now? And so it might sound something like this. A very simple version might be like, hey, Chris, I'm working on this project that's very important. If this project goes well, we could increase our sales by like 20% in the next month. And I need someone to help me with it who has really great attention to detail. So I thought of you immediately because you're awesome at details. So is it okay if I talk to you more about this project? You know, something like that, right? But you get the idea. The idea is you're going in saying this project is important because and I really think you're a good fit for helping me with this because. So what's great about that is that they're understanding the big picture about why this project's important, and you're getting a little butt kissing in there, a little bit of like, hey, I really need your help because I think you're great at this, or I think I need your help because we've worked together in the past and you always nail it, or I want to work with you on this because I just like spending time with you. Whatever the reason is, leading with that, starting with the why, starting with the motivation behind the project is always a great strategy. That's number 3. Number 4 is once you finally get to delegating that task or asking for help, you want to be as specific as possible. Specific as possible about the actual task. That might include creating some timelines, some specific deadlines or milestones along the way, getting clear about what resources are needed for the task, getting clear about your communication throughout the happening of the task, about the doing of the task, when you're going to check in with each other, what you expect along the way. And so however specific you can get about each task or project, the better, right? So be specific, be specific, be specific. And certainly make sure that you leave time for the person you're delegating to ask you questions, because the questions are going to come up along the way, and you want to stoke that fire. You want them to ask you questions as much as possible so you can keep clarifying expectations, clarifying expectations. That's number 4, be specific. Number 5, and this one's probably the most important, and it's kind of a no-brainer, so all of you will probably be thinking, like, duh, Michael, of course, but we don't do it enough. So number 5 is express gratitude. So you got to be grateful, right? If you're asking for help in your personal life or you're delegating at work, no matter what the case is, whether it's the person's job to be helping you or not, a really great strategy is to be grateful and be thankful and say it to the person, and ideally not just when the project is over, but along the way. So say, for example, when you are being specific and you set out some very specific milestones for a project to happen over the next few weeks, during each milestone, a really great strategy is to celebrate the progress along the way. So instead of waiting till the final product happens, waiting till the finish line, celebrate the journey. Celebrate each little small victory and small win along the way by saying thank you and saying good job and saying how appreciative you are of the help and support. So that's it. That last one, I know, sounds like a no-brainer, but we don't do it enough, me included. So top 5 things, quick recap is 1, before you even think about delegating, think about what is the specific or project I want to delegate. Number 2 is pick the right person. If you have choice, great, really think about who you're giving it to and why. Number 3 is when you go to make the ask, start with why. Start with why the project's important and why you're picking them. Number 4 is be specific as you can about the project. Get clear about expectations. And number 5 is be grateful. Say thank you. And I think when you nail those 5 things, when you delegate with confidence in those ways, coming back to that person again is just so much easier. You're building a relationship built on trust and built on clear expectations, built on gratitude, and everyone loves to be delegated to in that way. And everyone likes to help a friend who's willing to be grateful and thankful and specific and clear. And so those are the top 5. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. How do you like to be delegated to? What style of delegation works when people are asking for you for help? Let's start there and continue the conversation below. Thanks, friends. Have a good day.